All right, so let's head over here. Let's look at what we have. Woo! Okay, so this is where we left off. This is our star. Now, one thing that I've noticed since last we were here. Hey, the Shrimp Father, welcome in. These pieces, when they merge together, I mean, these four pieces are probably going to merge together. These two pieces right here and here are going to merge together. But if you look at the overall thing, like if these are merged, that only leaves like these pieces that would be flexible. And I'm not really digging that. So I think I'm going to make the star just slightly bigger so that things don't get hairy on these points over here. So fortunately, we can go back in time to do that. So at the bottom here, we have our timeline. It's a sacred timeline. And I'm just gonna double click this form tool, go into edit form. I'm gonna double click this, and I'm going to grab this little point in the middle. So that's gonna scale on all sides. Now you'll notice there's an outline where our little pieces were. So that'll help me know, especially looking at the top, how big I'll want to scale it up. So I'm gonna grab this little point in the middle. I'm just gonna drag, down a bit. I kind of like that. 1.072. Let's hit OK and let's finish. And let's see what happens. Bang timeline. It's bang timeline in chat, Sharon. Though I could add sacred to my commands. So you'll see down here it's doing computations. And notice I'm at the end here. I'm at the end of the timeline. There's no red, there's no yellow, but looks like we've got some stuff missing here. Ah, so the reason stuff is missing is because the points of the star were sticking out. So if we go back in time, let's just step back once. See these poking out? But I'm not going to worry about adjusting how many of these are in the pattern because I'm going to just merge this with these links anyways, because I'm not going to just let this hang out there by itself. That's too weak. It'll break off too easily. So I'm just going to leave that as is. Okay. So those were our links, and this is our star. So now if we look at the top here, these look a little bit better. They look like they've got enough substance to where they can stand their own. Just going to look over these again. Oh, see, I don't like that. See, this would still have to be merged into this, because I'm going to have to cut this off, which means it's not going to be holding the parts on each side here. It needs something else to hold on to. So I'm going to make the star a little bit bigger. So let's go back in here and scale it up a little bigger. Okay, let's go with that. Hey, it's Shenanigans and Pezliz. Welcome in. I just realized I don't have Lumia running. Let's get that started. That way we can have Lumia say hi to you as you chat. Lumia is here. Okay. All right, so we have that little bit bigger. That's looking a lot better. So now these can hug their neighbor friends and their friends behind it. So it strengthens the mesh so it's not weak. We don't have any weak points. We'll just have to merge these pieces in because, you know, how fun would it be to try to print this one piece? I mean, let's take a look at this. I'm going to hide these just so you can see by itself what this looks like. So when this is exported, we have this little piece that's going to print by itself. Dad's workbench. Oh, yeah, RC workbench, sorry. Dad's RC workbench, welcome in. So when this is printing, you can think of each of these individual pieces as its own print. And if we have something like this, that's not going to be very print friendly. We have this point here that's just sticking in the air, and you know, this is 1 millimeter across. Can you imagine how thin this is? Your slicer is not going to register that it's going to be printing that. Same with this. So that's not very print friendly. So we are going to fix things so it is print friendly. Okay, so first, I'm going to create a few groups here just to stay organized. Just going to call this star pieces. I don't know. And I'm going to grab all of these existing pieces. And I'm going to pull this up here into that group. That'll also give us an idea of how many pieces we're dealing with. So we have 183 individual pieces here. Okay. Now, before I start doing anything, I need to separate the bottom mesh from the top that we've created. So I'm going to use this split body feature, and everyone knows I hate using split body, but this is the best feature I found for this type of work. I'm just going to use this surface, so I'm splitting all of these objects, and as a splitting tool, I'm choosing this surface, so at that level, it's just going to slice through everything. Just hit OK. It's going to create a lot of more pieces. You'll find when designing floppy stuff like this, you're going to have a lot of bodies that you're dealing with. So you'll see our new bodies are all the top, and then everything that we'd already put in this folder is the bottom. Okay. So I'm going to start viewing from the bottom, and I'm going to determine what I need to cut off and what I need to keep. So I'm envisioning creating a sketch so that I can extrude bodies or create extrusions to engulf various links. So you'll see this link by itself, it can be printed just fine. And it's going to be connecting these two, so it's going to be somewhat strong. So I don't need to combine this with anything. I do, however, have these two pieces that I don't really want. So I'm going to make those go away, and I hit V. So if I select an object and hit V, it makes it go away. It makes it invisible. Now, I'm not too worried about these pieces because when I do my extrude, it's going to engulf those and kind of combine them in. So I'm not too worried about that. Lumia Stream is welcoming stream elements. Thanks for the follow. I don't know how I missed that notification. Do I have... Oh yeah, I have alerts enabled. I do not have alerts enabled. What is that about? Let's put you right there. Okay, I think that you should be there. Okay. Again, thanks for the follow. It's Dima Camp. Is that how you pronounce your name? All right. So that's going to be fine by itself. But we want to create an extrusion because this is a vacancy right here. Like we have a hole going through this right there. And we want to fill that in. So we're going to create when we create our sketch, we're going to have like a little box to be able to just fill that in. So we're going to do that there. But if you look here, we have this little overhang right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this little leg from this piece so that that's not there anymore. And then likewise, I'm going to remove the leg from this side, and that way each of these pieces can be their own piece. and not try to hug onto each other, because this overhang is going to make it difficult to hug onto each other unless we enable supports. Okay, so pro tip. So if I'm going to click on split body, over here it has body to split active. It's waiting for me to choose a body to split. So I could choose this one. And then for splitting tools, I have to come back over here, click it, and then I want to split based off of this surface to cut that off. And I can hit OK. That's not the pro tip, by the way. But now that it's separated, I can click this and make it go away by hitting V. Now to make this go away, this is where the pro tip comes in. Instead of clicking split body first, if I click on this surface and then click on split body, look what happens. It already has, the body that the surface was a part of is already selected, or this one, this body, and it already used that surface that I had selected as the splitting tool. So all I have to do is hit enter or hit OK. But currently I need to split it away from this surface as well. So I can click on this, click on split body and hit OK, and then click on that and hit V, and it goes away. Okay. So there we go. So now they're separate. And now when I add my little, extrusion to fill this in and fill this in, these two don't get fused together. They're going to be able to be separate. Now here we have a similar problem where we have this overhang here and we have this weird thing going on. That's quite a steep incline right there. And plus that's not, can you imagine the whole object here just being supported off of this? So we are going to add another cut so this and this gets fused together, but this and this doesn't. So I'm going to select this face, click on split body, hit OK, and make that go away. And then I'm going to select this face, hit split body, hit OK. Now that's going to go away. Now every time I make something go away, I'm going to hit V to make it disappear. Fenstyle, welcome in. Jay Palmer, welcome in. Thanks for joining us. Out of curiosity, could you join body on the tips if you want the outside to be solid, but the middle floppy? I'm not sure what you mean by that. I'm assuming you mean like for this, we have the star points here, and you can create a body or an extrusion that kind of fills in all these holes and joins with this so it's full, so it's solid. If you're talking about joining this to this, we can't use the join operation because they're not touching. This is not touching this in any aspect. If they were, then it wouldn't be floppy. They would all be fused together. I don't know if I understood your question well or not. Okay. Now for this piece is just a really tiny piece here, right here. Hey, Additive Adam, welcome in. Thanks for joining us. So I'm going to just make this disappear because I don't care about that. Now, I'm also envisioning how I'm going to make my sketch. It's hard to explain, but you'll see how I'm making the sketch. You can see how the grid pattern is, how we have our columns and rows. I kind of want to keep that theme as I make my sketch. So when I'm combining this with this, I'm going to be creating a line that goes this direction at a 45, here and here, and then I'll combine those two. Same with this. So all my lines, as I'm combining these, are going to be at 45-degree angles. So I'm keeping that in mind as I choose to take things away. So when I chose to take this away, I was considering, okay, this is going to be extruded at a 45. Is that going to get in the way? Probably not, but just to be safe, I'm going to make it go away anyways. It's inconsequential. It wouldn't matter if it was included or not, but if for some reason a very small fraction of it was poking out of my sketch when I create the sketch, then that would make it not so pretty. And I don't think the printer would really, like when you slice it, the slicer might not even register that that's even there if it's small enough. So, but it's just something that I'd try. Okay, so we have this. Now, if you look here, now keep in mind again, this is only 1 millimeter across. So this right here, when your printer tries to print this, if you're using a 0.4 millimeter nozzle, there's a good chance that there's gonna be a gap between here and here. So even though the body is 1, there's gonna be a little gap here as it's printing. Now, I might not care about that to begin with, because after it prints this chamfer, it's going to be thicker. But if you look here, it's going to be somewhat thin right here, and it's only going to get thinner until we reach this part of the body. So it's possible we might see some artifacting on this one piece. So what I will probably do is cut this, so this L part is cut off here from this piece, and so this L part is cut off from this piece, so they're separate pieces, and that'll allow me to do an extrude through here so that we don't have that possibility of having those artifacting. Yeah, DMACAF, absolutely. So, I feel like they do a pretty good job optimizing Fusion for computers that aren't that powerful. So I think that should be fine. FYI, pro tip, you can come here and for graphics preset, you can choose performance, and you'll see it changes a little bit here. But that will make it so as you're looking around, and it'll obviously depend on how complicated your model is. I mean, I have a ton of links here. I have a ton of bodies that it's rendering at the same time. So if you're doing something like this, it still might be slower for you. But if anyone is designing in Fusion and you find out that it's bogged down, it's really struggling to keep up with whatever you're doing, you can always make sure that you have your graphics preset set to performance, and that'll optimize things for you so that things aren't as choppy. I'm going to stick on quality. It helps me see things, plus my computer can handle it. I have a 3080 Ti graphics card in it, and the CPU is a little bit older. It's an 8th gen Intel. I think it's an 8700. But I feel like it can handle it as I stream, so that's why I keep it on what is it called? The quality setting. Yes, that's right, Peekaboo, that's right. I've been watching CAD class. I learned that from CAD class, which, by the way, for anyone watching, if you want to check out cadclass.org, they have some free content that you can download, like a free book of example projects to help you get started and get familiar with the tools in Fusion. So, and then CAD Class also has a YouTube video, and they just started doing their podcasts again where they'll talk about like recent news and maybe talk about certain features that they've learned about. So anyway, so back to this, we have these two legs, and then we have these two legs that we need to cut off so that we don't have any weird artifacting on this particular piece. So I'm just gonna select this, select split body. I'm just gonna hit enter on my keyboard, select this, split body, enter. Now I can click that and hit V to make it go away. So now this piece is taken care of. Now we need to do the same thing with this one. Okay. So now when I extrude it up, I'm picturing when I create my sketch, there's going to be a line this way, and it's going to follow this path, and it's going to come out here so that all this gets filled in. So we won't have any artifacting based on how skinny this is right here. Like when it gets that skinny as it's printing. One thing that I want to make note of as well is sometimes you'll run into this issue where it comes to a point and then you have it coming up at an angle like this. At this scale, I don't think this matters. This is probably just going to be like 2 layers. It's going to be a layer here and a layer there. I mean, just thinking about the scale of this thing, this is only 1 millimeter thick, so this is like 0.2 or 0.5, well, 0.4 or 0.5 millimeters from this point to this point, so I wouldn't really worry about that. It's not gonna affect it too much. Okay, so here, again, we have some weirdness right here. This is obviously too skinny. It's not gonna print this, plus that's an overhang. So I'm going to combine this piece with this piece, which means I need to cut off this leg. Okay, so that leg's gone. That leg's gone, okay? So now I can easily merge this one and this one together without it interfering with anything else. With this one, I could cut this leg off, but I'm just gonna make that go away because, again, I'm picturing 45s. If I create my sketch so that the extrusion will come up here, I don't really need that there. It's inconsequential. Now this, again, I'm gonna say again a lot, apparently. You can see this is very thin right here. It gets really thin here and goes up a little bit. This is kind of messy right here. And plus we want to make sure there's enough surface area on the link to where it doesn't become dislodged as it's printing. That's not a lot of surface area. These floppy designs are very tricky because you have a lot of tiny pieces that have, I don't know, a 7 by 7 millimeter contact point, but that go up like 40 millimeters. You really need to pay attention to your adhesion, and you need to make sure that each piece has ample, like as much as it is possible to have enough contact on your build plate. Hey, Clown Hammer, welcome in. Thanks for joining us. So for this piece in particular, there is not a lot of contact. There's almost 1/4 of the contact area as everything else. So we're gonna cut this one up as well. So I'm gonna select this one, hit split body, select this, split body, and now this can go away. And now I'm gonna do the same thing to this piece. Okay, so now looking at the star, this can be merged into this, and this can be its own thing. This has enough contact area to where, especially when I create my sketch and include this and fill it in, it's gonna have more contact area. So this one's gonna be fine. This one's gonna be fine. I don't know how I feel about that, so I'm gonna make that go away. And again, I'm thinking in 45s when I create my sketch, is it gonna run into anything? Here, I don't think this is gonna run into anything if I create my sketch and I put it at a 45 here. So this one's gonna be fine, this one's gonna be fine, this one's gonna be fine, but I think that might be in the way. So I'm gonna get rid of these. And just to make sure, I'm going to make those go away too. Hey, Built Over Bot, welcome in. When will I make a floppy neat? Do we want a floppy neat? I could make a floppy neat. Do we want the neat to be bubble letters? Or do we want it to be like, I don't know, let me know if you want a floppy neat. I could make a floppy neat. Okay, and here, I'm gonna make this go away too. So, this, I feel like this could have enough surface area, but I'm feeling hesitant. Now, let's see, where did I start? Because this is symmetric from left to right. I don't want to be doing too much here. I'm gonna go back in time just to see where I've been doing things. Okay, so that one's fine. Where did I do that cut? Oh, it's right there. Okay. So I started here. Okay. So I've been going around here. So I want to stop when I'm right there, and I'm just going to duplicate what I did on this side over to the other side, because I don't want to have to do more work than I have to. So here, let's make this go away, because I don't think that's going to matter. Same with this. Okay. Now, I don't trust this. I feel like it's enough surface area to print. You know, I'm going to keep it. I'm going to keep it because I think when I combine it, it's actually going to come all the way out here. So I think it's going to have enough contact area when it's printed. We need a floppy neat. Blocky. Okay, make it a blocky like the emote. Okay, so let's see. Where's my, like this one? So we kind of want it like that. Welcome, Bearded Printer. Thanks, Lumia Stream. Okay, so I think this one should be fine. And same with this one. Same with this one. Okay. Now here, the point of the star comes all the way out here, and I'm gonna kind of do the same thing over here, but I need to combine some stuff because any individual links that aren't sharing a neighbor are gonna be weaker and will break off a lot easier. They need neighbors, so they you know, power in numbers. So I think I'm going to end up creating something over here. With my sketch to just combine whatever that would be. Now, before I continue, I just realized I forgot to do something. So back here on the timeline where I did my combine, I combined the star, but then the star went away. I'm gonna need it again so I know where things are at. So I'm gonna go back on my timeline here, and I'm going to hope that all my splits are gonna stay the same, because when I make changes like this on the timeline, sometimes it doesn't, and I'm sad. So I'm gonna roll timeline back to here when we did this, this pattern. Okay, now let's make this visible up here so we can see our pattern. We can see the points of our star sticking out. And even though I don't need them, I think it'll help me visualize what's going on by, I'm gonna edit this. I'm gonna add a couple iterations to the edge here. So let's do 17 and 17. I think that's plenty. Let's hit OK. Now I'm gonna have to add the new links that I just created into my links, whatever it's called, group. Okay, now I'm going to take this body. I'm going to hit Control C and Control V, so it creates a new one. I'm just going to name this star so that I know which one that is. Okay, and now I'm going to step once over. It's going to combine, but because we created new bodies, with our pattern, we're going to have to include those in our combine. So I'm going to have to right click and edit the combine to include those new pieces. So you'll notice those pieces did not get included here. So, whoops, I don't want to do that. I'm going to make that visible again. I'm going to right click and edit feature. And it's going to think for a minute, because there's a lot going on in this operation. It has to think. Let it think. Yay! Okay. So notice all the yellow pieces in the middle here, all the ones around the edge are my new pieces that I've added. So I'm going to make sure I have tool bodies selected over here. So I'm going to click this, and now I'm going to hold down Control and Shift, and then I'm going to drag from left to right to select everything. I believe if you just hold Shift, it'll actually do an inverse selection, so it'll unselect things that you had selected. It'll unselect things that you had selected and then select things you did not have selected. So by holding Control, that makes sure that everything gets selected. Okay. Now I'll hit OK here. Yay for more thinking. It's creating a lot of bodies with this one operation. This one operation reminds me of the clickbait things. This one trick. People don't want you to know this one trick. Well, I don't want to know you. Okay. So you can see these bodies here, because I had already placed bodies in this group, the star pieces group, you can see all the new bodies that aren't in the group are a part of the star right here. So let's grab and drag those into our star pieces group. So those are included. And we can see our original star is still intact, so we could use that later. Okay, and let's make our links disappear. Okay. And now we are going to, I'm just going to jump to the end here. I'm going to click this end button to jump to the end and pray that everything is okay. All these split bodies. Okay. Everything seems to be looking okay. Everywhere I split it seems to be split the same way it was before. I'm going to make you go away. Okay, that all looks good. Okay, and now we are to this. I'm going to cut this up because we have some weird overhang thing here that we need to go away. Okay. All right. So I think all these three for the whole point of the star are going to be one piece so that they can, and these three pieces are going to be, well, because this is actually cut, it's only going to be holding on to this piece and this piece. But I think two should be sufficient. Oh, see, look here, this. Okay, I'm going to orient this so you can see better. So the point of our star here, we have contact here and we have contact here. And then we have this. I don't know if I trust this. I don't know if I trust this. But I'm not sure what to do if we leave it unlinked, because that would mean the entire point of the star would only have one connection to the rest of the mesh, which makes it a weak link. What we could do... I don't like the feeling of that thought. Is, remember our sketch from last time, this one? How, like, if I go into this sketch, it's thinking, because it's going all the way back to the very beginning. You see this sketch that's highlighted? So I chose the angle to be 22. If I change this sketch, I don't think anything will happen, because now I'm going to hit Control Z to get back out of the sketch without it having to redo a bunch of stuff. This form tool may have used that sketch, but because the form tool is outside of time, meaning Everything I've done in this form tool cannot be tracked by time. On the timeline, there's no timeline in here, so everything I do in here is just like freeform modeling. Because this used that sketch, even if I adjust the sketch, this would not be redone. So what I would have to do is grab these. In fact, I might just grab these. Yeah. So I could just grab these. Now this is gonna mess us up because we've already chosen certain bodies to split, but we'll see what happens. Might have to redo some work here. So we have those. Now when I go into edit form, I can make these go out a little bit. And that didn't adjust right here, but we can smooth that out okay. Because we want to make this a little bit wider so that the links are a little bit better. So let's select these and see what happens. We will see what happens, even if it means we've lost some of our work, because I don't trust how strong these points will be based on the mesh. So I'm selecting these. I'm going to do the same thing where I grab this to scale it, and I just scale those. Okay. That would have made it slightly wider. It's puffy. Okay, so I'm suspecting that these split tools at the bottom of the timeline are gonna hate me because of this, because after we do this combine, the amount of bodies is going to change, and where those bodies are is going to change, and it's gonna yell at me. So brace yourselves. Gonna hit OK on that. Let's see what happens. Oh boy. File 3D, welcome in. Thanks for joining us. Yeah. I'm really expecting a lot to go wrong here. Even though I haven't done a ton on the timeline, I'm really expecting a lot to go wrong. It's calculating our splits. Oh, look at that. We have a lot of red. We've got a lot of red. Yep. That's exactly right, shenanigans. That's exactly right. You see everything that happened here. Okay, so I'm going to roll timeline back to here. I basically have to start over. Select all these. I'm just going to hit delete. That history never happened. No, not red. No, anything but red, please. I'm missing a thing here. Did I make it disappear? Okay, I need to bring everything back. Now, if you look here, oh, it's another weird thing Fusion does. You see, I have some bodies here that are invisible, and then some that are visible, and that's because I was making things disappear as I was splitting and whatnot. Well, now all the bodies have changed, and I don't want to have to go through one by one to find all the invisible pieces. So I'm going to make everything invisible, and then I will make everything visible that I want visible. So now I can select all these. Whoops, I went too far. Select. Now you're all visible. Now I'm going to select this to here. Hit V, now you're all visible. Now everything's visible. Okay, and there's our star. Okay, that was fun. Okay, I'm just gonna go through this really quick because I've already explained some of what I was doing. Let's make you go away. You can go away. We'll split you. Split you. Okay. We'll split you too. Okay. You can go away. This should be fine. Let's split you. Okay. That's fine. We'll split you. Okay. Now these will all be one piece. This will be. These will all be one piece here. But we want this to be connected to this still. We'll make these go away. I'm going to see this edge right here is going to see through, is going to show through as an artifact as you're printing. But if I split these legs up, then this would only be attached to this. So I think we're going to have to connect this, all of these pieces. All of these will have to be one piece. Yep, that's what we'll have to do. Okay. We'll make you go away too. So we'll have the extrusions going that way. This will be straight. Okay. Let's make you go away. Let's cut you. Oh boy. Fusion thinking. Hopefully this doesn't create a time paradox. Yes, Peekaboo, we don't want any time paradoxes. We're supposed to respect the sacred timeline, and I have abused it. We're on the alternate timeline. That's right. That's right. Okay. Now, how do I want this to look? Oh, these are probably going to be all connected. Those can be connected there and there, so I'll cut this here. Oh, geez. I did something. Fusion is thinking. Okay. Wow. Fusion is slowing down. I think I might need to save, because I'm starting to worry. We're still on V1 up here. I haven't saved it since we started doing some fusion today. Yeah, good point, Piled 3D. Good point. We don't want to lose any work. Oh, I didn't finish. What? Oh, one thing I didn't do. Forgot to do this. I need to edit this. Whoops. Edit this feature, because there are links that I didn't do this for. So I need to split everything. I need to add bodies that I wanted to split. And for splitting tools, I want to make sure I only have one. And let's just choose this surface. Did I just create another time paradox? Time will tell. Okay. Oh. I already know. I already know. We will redo it though. See, I did it again. I hate that I do that. Why do I do that? Okay, we will redo this again. I didn't split all the mesh from the top. See, you're seeing me struggle right now. This is what happens when you don't pay attention to what you're doing. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, that's fine. Why did that error? Oh, because it's already cut. Okay. Let's make you go away. So much timeline abuse. Here comes the the error percent is too high. I've abused it too much. Okay, here we can connect all of these, so I don't need to cut anything there. I'm going to make these go away. Let's, oh dear. I don't even know where I went. Oh, this one. Okay. So we started here, we took care of these. Those are gonna be fine. I'm going to cut this to make sure that doesn't get in the way when I make my sketch. Okay. Let's make you go away. So this will go straight this way. I'm hoping that doesn't cause an issue. Let's make you go away. I think these two can connect to these. And if this is all connected, I could connect these, though this is a bigger part of the star. Because, I mean, look at this. Look at how steep that is. Is your printer going to be able to do that? Yes. Piled 3D, I will be doing that. The cut and mirror half of it is what I'm going to do. So as soon as I'm done doing this edge, so wait, hold on. As soon as I'm done doing this edge here, so I'm right here, I've done all of this, and then once I'm done with that, I'm just going to get rid of this stuff and then mirror it. So right here, would it be enough just having this connected to these two? I'm gonna try it. I mean, I'm gonna be printing this anyway, so so I can test for myself how it's gonna be. I always test print the stuff I design, because usually something unexpected happens after I print it, and I'm like, oh, I did not expect that, and then I have to make a change. No, I could not do a point and rotate it 4 times because these are directional. So these would change direction with each pattern when doing a circular pattern, and then they would just like mix up with each other. So these have to be in the same direction. Now, the reason why I'll be able to mirror it is because of because these can be mirrored. Since these can be mirrored, I can mirror the whole thing. If it was like this, where this was the top and I wanted to mirror across this dimension, it wouldn't work as well because of how these are. But because of how I did these individual pieces, we would be able to mirror it, but we wouldn't be able to do a circular pattern. Which, by the way, welcome in realizes, I didn't say hi to you yet. Okay, so I think we're going to see how that works out. I'm hesitant to say it would, but we're going to try it anyways. If this doesn't work out where we combine these three and whatever's over here, then we can try merging them onto these three. And that would make it stronger, and I think it would still have enough floppiness. Okay, so now let's split this, since that doesn't have a lot of surface area. Okay, so now this will be merged onto that. This will be merged onto that. We're gonna cut this here because this is gonna give us an artifact on the outside, so we want to cut that off. Okay, let's get rid of these two. Okay. And then let's just make that go away. Okay. Now we have this piece here. Oh, I'll deal with this after the mirror. Okay, so what I'm going to do, this is the side we just did. So I wonder if Fusion still has this bug. We're gonna try this. So notice we have all these bodies here. Are the bodies still gonna be there after we extrude them all gone? Let's see what happens. Okay. Okay. Oh, okay, so notice I'm selecting this body, but nothing highlights. It's because it still thinks the body is there, but there's nothing to select because we extruded it away. So, instead of doing that, now also notice these are highlighted now, even though I have nothing selected. And if I click on this, it just wants me to rename it. And if I right-click on it, it gives me nothing. But if I hold Shift and highlight all these and then click off, it unhighlights it for me. I just think that's a weird thing that Fusion does. So I'll just highlight all of them. It usually has to do with when you delete a feature that uses those bodies. Okay, so what I'm going to do instead of that extrude, I'm going to highlight, and I'm going to do the from left to right to select all those. And in fact, I'm going to change so I only can select bodies. Okay, so I have those selected. I'm gonna right-click on one of them and just click remove. And you'll see my timeline just blew up. There's a ton of removes here. I'm gonna put all these in a group. So I selected the end one, I'm holding Shift and I'm selecting this one. Now you can right-click and say create group. So that just makes it nice. I'm gonna do the same thing with these splits. I'm gonna create a group with those. So now the timeline is more tidy. Okay, so now I'm going to do a mirror, and I'm gonna mirror bodies, and I'm dragging from left to right. That way it only selects everything that was inside the box. If I did from right to left, if anything was touching the box, it would be included. Mirror plane, this one. Okay. It's thinking. Okay, there we go. Hit OK. All right, so now we have all our star pieces that we mirrored. Okay, now we're ready to do our sketch. Now we can do the same thing. We can mirror our sketch. So I'm only going to sketch half of this and then mirror it to the other side. So let's create our sketch. I'm going to hit save so we don't lose our work here. It's going to think a little bit while it saves. It's time for Fusion to name itself Confusion. That's a rebrand we can all get behind, right? Okay. All right, so now I'm going to hit P. I didn't have this application selected when I hit P. And I'm going to project various portions of these objects so that I can create the boxes that I need. I'm going to create boxes that so this is our star here, and I want the box I want to make sure the box goes outside here so that when we do our next combine, it includes that. That just means less math for me. So that's what I plan on doing. I'm going to do that too, just in case. And this is going to be merged. Is this going to be its own thing? I feel like it can be its own thing. So let's undo that. We don't want that. So let's do those. This is going to be merged onto this. So we'll create a sketch with a box that goes around those. This is going to be merged onto this. So we'll create a box that goes around those. And I'm thinking about the lines going at a 45. So when this line gets to here, it's going to go off at a 45 to include this. And same here, from this point, it's going to go at a 45 that way. Now, these two pieces, I could have it go at a 45 this way, and then this go at a 45. And if that's the case, I might have to trim this, but I'll do that after I'm done doing these what do you call them? These projections. Okay. Now this is all going to be one piece. So I'm going to just project this to this and just have that all be one. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Now this, and again, I'm going to be having lines that go 45 in this direction. This will be merged onto this. This will be its own thing. Now I'm going to project these because this is kind of long to just have lines go out. I won't be able to go at a 45 here. It's going to go straight out, but this is a big gap. So I'm going to use these lines to kind of bring that in on those edges. Same with this. Okay. And now we're going to do this thing here that I'm really hesitant to do, but we're going to try it anyways. If it fails, or if I don't like it, I will adjust it to combine these three instead of these three. Okay. Now we need to merge these pieces here. I think I could just do a 45 off of this point. Hey Jedi Spidey, welcome in. Thanks for joining us. Okay, and we'll just have a line go straight there. We'll merge these two pieces. This doesn't need to be merged into anything. I think this could... Oh, we're almost halfway done. Oh, good. I think this one could actually go this way, and we can trim this off. And then this can be combined onto both of these. Yeah. So if this is combined on both of these, we'll just grab this, go here, grab those. Okay. So let's hit OK. Now, before I mirror anything, I'm going to go back. What did I want to do? I can't remember. Oh, yeah. I needed this as a... Okay, so if I wanted this to be at a 45, it might run into this. So I want to cut that. I need to adjust my filters to include sides, faces, I mean. So I'm gonna go back one before I do my sketch. Make that go away, and then the bottom here, make those two go away. Okay. Now let's step over. Does it like me? Yes, it does. Good. All right, so now let's do our lines. We're going to use our projections to create our profiles to extrude up. So I'm going to hit L for line. Going to go over here and over here. And I'm going to go off at a 45. And I'm going to just make sure that this box will engulf all of this star. Okay, and I'm going to make this a 45 as well. Okay, so this is I've kind of overemphasized how big this needs to be. I mean, the star is only this big, so I could have made it easily just like that. And instead of trying to extrude, well, let's do this. Let's just select that and project that. What just happened? That was weird. Okay, I'm gonna delete this. Let's make the star go away. So now we have a profile of where the star will be. I typically won't do this so for example, our star, if you can see that if we look at the side, it doesn't go back before it completes. Sometimes whatever you're making floppy will have like an overhang, a slight overhang before it goes over to the rest of the object. This star doesn't do that. So that's why I'm okay to project this edge, because you can see nothing about the star passes this edge. It doesn't, like, the star doesn't go like this before it completes, if that makes sense. So if that were the case where whatever you're making floppy kind of goes out, so you have your base, and if somewhere above it kind of extends past that base, you'll want to make a box that would include that so that that doesn't get cut off in the end product. So I hope that makes sense. Why doesn't the other side need cutting? What do you mean? We did our mirror. So we cut one side, and then we removed a bunch of stuff and mirrored what that one side was. Where the 45 would cut into the model. Oh, good point. Good point. Thank you for bringing that up. So we cut this, right? Because we wanted to go on 45. We need to cut the other side. Right here, this piece. Thank you for bringing that up. And then where we did the bottom, we just did both sides at once. Okay, thank you for bringing that up. Would have totally forgot about that. Okay, so, but because our star doesn't go back and kind of overhang where the base would be, I'm okay to use this portion of the star to project that. So we'll select this, this, That's interesting. Why is that happening? Is it because of how I mirrored it? Oh no. The star is not symmetrical. Because of what I did on the timeline, when I went back into the form tool and adjusted those to be wider, I missed a spot where I did that. I'm gonna still finish doing this projection, but I have a way of fixing that. Okay, let's hit OK. Okay, I'm gonna hit finish here. Now, before we do our combine here on our timeline, notice how we did our copy. So before we do our copy, come on, Fusion. So before we do our copy of our star, and before we do our combine, I'm going to split the star. I can already tell there's this kind of goes in and this doesn't. I messed it up when I went back in the timeline. So this is what happens when you abuse the timeline. So I'm gonna cut this star in half and mirror it, and then we will proceed to do our cut and paste stuff. So in this case, I'm just gonna do our side extrude thing because it's not gonna remove anything entirely. It's not gonna remove entire bodies and have them just float out in the middle of nowhere. Okay, we'll just use this surface, join. Why didn't that work? Compute failed. Okay, what if... Is Fusion being Fusion again? System inconsistency, processing surface tangency. What? Okay. So let's undo those. Let's just try doing a split then. And we want to get rid of this one, right? This one goes away. I wonder if it's because I'm using that. I'm gonna try, okay. Let's try doing this instead. Whoops. I'm going to change the mirror plane to use the origin. Wait, I didn't change it to join. Why are you doing this to me, Fusion? Hey, LTX Designs, welcome in. Yeah, the mirror then merge didn't work. So I have this done, and then if I just do a mirror... Ugh, wrong one, this one. And I do a new body, that works, but then I can't combine them. It doesn't let me. Shoot. System inconsistency. Failed to Boolean bodies together. It's not liking that. I'm kind of upset right now. Okay, go back. Go away. Hey, Kegel, welcome in. I mean, it doesn't have to be combined. It just complicates things a little bit when I'm doing the finished product. Okay, fine. Fine. See, now, when I do the copy here, I have to copy two things, and then I have to combine two different things, and then I'm gonna have to redo all my split bodies and redo all my removes. And I really don't want to do that. Oh, come on. Let's try this. I'm gonna try this. Axis through 2 points. No, let's do these 2 points. Nope, these 2 points. Okay, we will do plane at angle, 90 degrees. Okay, and I'm going to let's do this, see how this works. Make this thing go away. Wait, that's the one we want to keep. No, that's not the one we want to keep. Okay. That's gone. And now let's do, I'm going to make this go away so it doesn't confuse me. Axis through 2 points. Okay. Plane at angle. And we're going to cut this based on this. And we are going to mirror this. I don't think this is going to turn out very well. I have my doubts. We want to join, oh, see, I want to start at body 3 to combine the, nope, see, it doesn't like that. Wait. Fusion. Dang Fusion in chat. Okay. I'm just gonna have to deal with it. I'm just gonna have to live with it. Undo all this garbage that I tried to do to fix it. I'm just gonna have to live with it. I don't think it's a restart thing, it's a math thing. Fusion does math, and if two faces are so close together but not quite there, it says, I can't do it. If they're exactly the same, yes. But if they are so close but not, it throws an error. And I'm really sad about it. So, let's wait for it to finish doing its calculation. We're gonna have to just do a little bit of extra work because of how imperfect the star is. I'm kind of upset about this. Why did I do that? Don't save. Don't save. This is why I don't like doing split bodies. Split body just is not very friendly in Fusion. Split body is not friendly in Fusion. So we're just gonna pull up our last save point, which is when we were doing that stuff, this sketch here. Okay. Where's our sketch? Why isn't it showing our sketch? We have to redo those projections, don't we? And we still need to cut this stuff. Okay. And we still have to cut this. Okay, so we're almost there. Okay, I think I could still make this work. I'm not happy, but I think we can still make this work. Okay. Let's go back 2 steps before we did our mirror. Okay, and we will do our cut here. We will do our cut here. Okay. Now we will need to make sure that our mirror includes this object here, because when I did that split, it's possible the split did not function as expected. Okay, so this was mirrored and not the part. Okay. So timeline loss. Yeah, so I think I can still make this work without going back in time and mirroring it and merging it and all that. It shouldn't be that difficult, but because we're using something that was created with the form tool, it's not liking it. So we're gonna redo it. But I can still make it work. I'm just gonna speed through this process rather than explain it. Go. Okay. That'll be fine. Okay, I'm still gonna do the mirror thing. Oh, and yep, that's gonna be fine. I don't want that point there. Well, I guess that doesn't matter. Okay. This will still work. This will be fine. It's fine. You know that meme with the dog and there's a fire all around him? That's how I feel right now. It's fine. Don't worry about it. So I want to show just what happened just then. So when I was making, let's make those two lines again. So I'm making this line and I said I wanted this to be 45, or it could be 135, it doesn't matter. I make this line. Now when I make this, you'll see there's this little symbol on the line that it's this blue symbol that looks like a right angle type thing. That is going to apply a perpendicular constraint on this other line. You can see over here where this plus is, it's showing that that line is going to have a perpendicular constraint applied to this line. So that way I don't have to choose 45 degrees here. The zero fluoro orange. I haven't tried the fluoro orange. I had a few of their filaments and I printed some fun things with them, but I feel like they have some pretty good filaments. So again, you can see that it's applying a perpendicular constraint on the last line that I created. So I don't have to choose 45 degrees for that. It just automatically does it for me. And this is going to go up 45 and okay. Okay, I'm going to hit X on that because I don't want that. I want that to be construction line. Okay, now I'm going to hit Control S to save this. Kenneth 3D Prints, welcome in. Thanks for joining us. We're struggling with a mistake I made that I don't feel can be undone. So we're going to live with it. Okay. Now I'm going to hover over this line so that it wants to make a constraint against it. And because the closest constraint related to that is parallel, it's going to apply a parallel constraint. These equal signs. Okay. Let's do this. Now I need to make this a non-construction or a construction line, so that's included. Okay. So as I'm making these, I'm paying attention to the symbols that are showing up so that I can ensure that certain constraints are automatically added. Okay. This isn't fully... What are you waiting for? Is it this? Is there a gap here? This should be fully formed. There we go. Let's make that... There we go. That's better. See, right there, notice there's a triangle right next to my mouse. That triangle means it wants to apply a midpoint constraint. The midpoint of this line I'm hovering over does not necessarily meet the same place as a perpendicular constraint. So right now it's flashing between the perpendicular constraint and the midpoint constraint. I want to make sure it's the perpendicular constraint, not the midpoint constraint. Okay. Now I'm going to hit escape and hover over these to make sure that there aren't any lines that would make it so it doesn't select the entire area I want. I'm going to hover over this line so it wants to make a constraint related to it. That makes it easier for me so I don't have to add constraints later. Okay. Here we go. I don't want to do that. Okay, that looks good, that looks good. Okay. Forgot to add a projection there, so I could use that. Here we go. Okay. Now this one, I'm gonna do a line that's just straight up, and then a line that comes straight down. So all of this is gonna be one piece. Outcasted Wanderer, welcome in. Thanks for joining us. We are making a floppy star, by the way. Despite my best efforts to totally goof up my workflow here. Let's make this 135. This comes straight down. There we go. Okay, and for some reason, it's not registering that this is fully enclosed. So I'm going to bring this all the way out. Oh, and see, now it does. Interesting. That was interesting. It wasn't fully registering as fully enclosed, and now it is. I don't know what that was. Fusion being fusion. Being fusion in chat. Hey, Fern Dog, welcome in. Thanks for joining us. Piled 3D. So, you know, this cleanup is quite tedious, that's for sure. But it's really just more a lot of repetitive work. It's not that it's difficult, it's just very tedious, repetitive work. I believe in you. You can do it. Okay. Now, I'm not liking this, because, oh, this is poking out. I'll need to cut that before I do any extruding. Okay, so here's the part where I would want to bring that in. And this is going to be 0.5. And this is going to be 2. Okay. I'm going to hover over this point, and there's going to be a dotted line that it snaps to. Okay, but you'll see that the line is still blue, so you can go here and click on collinear, and I'm going to click these two lines, and that makes it so wherever this line moves or this line moves, they're going to be in line with each other, no matter what I do. Okay. And we're going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to hover over this, make sure there's a dotted line. That just ensures it's in the right place when I start. Let's bring you up. Oh, let's not do that. Collinear. We'll do the collinear after we create this next line. 0.5. Okay. Now we'll use our collinear. Just like this, and this, and this, and this. There we go. Okay. We want it to be light blue when we finish it. That tells me that it's completely closed so that it can be used as, whoops, a profile. And I need to silence my Discord, apparently. There we go. Okay. We're almost halfway done. We're almost there. It's really helpful to use shapes that you can use math, like you can just create a mirror or patterns. In this case, we can do a mirror, so we only have to do half the work of creating these. Okay. Yep, that's fine. Come here, here, to here. And I'm just going to bring this out. And I'll make sure that this is perpendicular to this. There we go. Okay, now I made this come out of the line on purpose because of what we'll have to do, because this is no longer symmetrical. I mean, this is, but the object we're going to use to do our next combine is not. Hey, Pete, welcome in. Thanks for joining us. So I think we'll still be able to get it to work. Okay, so I'm going to grab all these and do a mirror. And because I didn't create a line, you can actually enable the origin, and I will mirror over this plane of the origin. And then I'll make the origin disappear. Okay, so now we have our mirror. So notice our original star is not symmetrical, and we can no longer use it. Well, we can use half of it, which is what we'll end up doing. But I'm going to trim these. We don't need this anymore. Thank you. Why? What are you doing? What are you doing? Notice this line turned blue. It's because I removed a constraint associated with it. There we go. And for some reason, this is the only part that is not blue. Okay, I'm gonna undo all this. Okay, let's just leave it at that. It's fine. It's fine, it'll still work. Okay, make the origin go away. What is all, oh, those are all the mirror symbols, okay. Okay. Now, I'm going to do an extrude. And in fact, we probably didn't even need to mirror that sketch, actually. So I'm only going to see why. It's not letting me select this because I forgot to do one thing. I needed to bring this up. Everyone remain calm. It's gonna be okay. Everyone listen to Fern Dog. Okay, so now we'll be able to select that. Okay, so extrude just this side. Now, a lot of times I hold down Control because sometimes as I'm selecting profiles, if you accidentally select a face that's not on the same plane level as the profile, you'll inadvertently tell it to extrude to that point. And that's annoying to deal with. So I hold down Control as I select things so that can be prevented. Okay, so now I'm going to pull this up, and it's going to want to do a cut because it's going to intersect various objects that already exist. So I'm going to change it to new body instead of cut. New bodies. Done. Okay. Now I'm going to highlight all of these, but I'm going to change filters to select bodies, so I'm not selecting faces, because I don't want to mirror any faces, I want to mirror bodies. Now I can go mirror. I'm gonna select this face. I'm going to choose new body. Okay. So I'm gonna use all these to kind of fill in those vacancies that were around the edge of the star. I'm gonna make this appear. Now, before I do anything else, I'm gonna move all these bodies into a group. That way I can stay organized and know what things are doing what. So we'll move those into our star pieces. We have a lot of star pieces right now, 455 of them. That's going to be reduced dramatically. But I put those in the group as well, so I need to remove those from the group. I'm going to create a group for our edge links. Okay, and I'm going to click and drag all these. Notice I'm doing left or right to left. Anything that intersects with the lines will be included. If I did left to right, it would not select anything. So I'm doing right to left. I need to grab those. Whoops, missed them. I'm going to click and drag and then bring them to the other group. Edge links. There we go. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to make these star pieces disappear. I'm going to bring back my star. Now, I need this to be mirrored, so I'm going to cut this left to right. So this is, let's see, which edge is it? It's this edge. So this side needs to be removed. So I'm going to right click here, remove you, and I'm going to mirror this. And it's going to not want me to join it. Yep, that's what I thought, because fusion, why not? I'm going to choose new body. I can still do it. Okay, I'm going to do a combine, intersect, keep tools, select this. It doesn't matter if I select all tools because they're gonna stay there. Okay. And all these pieces. Yeah, okay. So now we're going to do our combine again. This body, I'm gonna select all these tools. Go. Okay, and now let's make our edge links disappear. So these are the new edge pieces of our star. So now if we bring our star back, we can see where those would combine and fill in any vacancies that we didn't want. So I'm going to do another combine, but instead of intersect, I'm going to choose join. I don't want to keep tools this time. I'm just going to select one of these. And the beauty of fusion is even though a lot of these aren't touching this piece that I'm joining, if any of the pieces are touching... Hey, Big Jano, welcome in. If any of the pieces are touching something else... Oh, no. Failed to do Boolean operation. See, this is what I'm talking about. I think we might have to do halves at a time. What just happened? Even if pieces aren't touching each other, if there are any pieces in the selection that are touching another piece, they will be merged together. Hit cancel. See, this is what I was afraid of. Okay, so we're gonna try to do it by halves. But then these probably won't. We'll try it. Okay, so we're gonna do two different combines. I'm gonna select this, and I'm going to select all of these. Let's see if it works. No, there was a problem combining geometry together. Try to ensure that the bodies have a clear overlap. Oh, please. Okay. I want this. Okay. Will it work there? Okay, that works. Will that work? Okay, that works. Will this work? Okay, that works. I'm gonna hit OK with this, just so we have that. And then I'm gonna edit it. After it does that combine, I'm going to edit and then see how it goes. You're seeing me really struggle with a mistake that I made earlier. Okay, right click, edit. Save, that would be a good idea. That would be an excellent idea. Come on. Oh, I need to make sure I have tool body selected. I wonder if it's the middle part. Okay, so it's liking that. I made sure I didn't have this piece selected or this piece, because I have a suspicion that that's what's giving us issues. Okay, I'm gonna hit OK with that. I normally don't have this many issues when doing a floppy thing. It's mostly because I went back on the timeline to change it and it wasn't symmetrical, and then trying to make it symmetrical, it's just enough out of whack where it's not liking it. Okay. Yeah, this is just bad. Okay. Let's see if this works. Whoops, not that. Yeah, see, it's not liking combining those. This is kind of making me sad. It's not liking that. What about this? It likes those. So it's the bottom part of the star it doesn't like, this part. So let's select everything except for that part. I think I have an idea. I haven't done it for a long time, so it's going to take me a minute to figure it out again. They would try to combine as a new component, yes. Let's combine those as well. Okay, let's hit OK on that. It's not liking this part of the star. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to do, let's edit this combine again. I'm going to see if these two pieces will do it. If not, I think doing a sketch to combine those might work. Maybe. Okay. Hey. I'm hoping. I'm hoping. I think we can get it to work. I do have to do another sketch. I'm not liking these outlines of stuff, but it is, I don't know what that's about. Whatever. Okay, I'm gonna do another sketch. On the bottom here, let's project these again. Okay. It's going to be 135. Let's just finish that. Let's start another line here. There we go. I'm going to project these lines. Notice there is this symbol is a tangent constraint because these are not straight lines. So it automatically wanted to do a tangent constraint on those. I need to change my filter so I can select more than just bodies. Okay, that works. I'm gonna make this a construction line. Now what? Oh. We're gonna run into the same problem. Hey, Builder. Yeah, I wish I had the skills to do this type of modeling too. We're running into the same problem, where after I extrude this, I'm gonna have to have some kind of thing to combine to do our Boolean operation, and the only thing I can do that with is our original star. So this was our original combine, right? Hold on. Let's go back here. Roll timeline. Oh, we did a split and a remove. Okay. Let's see this. Let's see, which star was it that we wanted? This star. So before we did the split of that, let's make a copy. Make you go away. Let's jump to the end again. For Doug, your computer would be out the window. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Let's hope this all works properly still. Okay. Okay, so I still have this star. Okay, so now if I do this extrude, we're going to use the star that is not symmetrical to do this. And I don't think anyone will notice that little piece at the bottom if it's not symmetrical, because it's such a small thing. Okay, so we're gonna grab this star and we're going to combine it with this. Now, yeah, I think it should be okay. Oh, see, it still juts out a little bit right there. Let's see what this does. Will this work? Well, it worked. Goodbye. I made that go away. Okay, let's just try it. Let's try combining that now to these three pieces. Okay. Yeah, okay. I'm not happy with this. I might end up redoing this whole thing, but for the sake of this stream, this is it. Cause something I missed while I was making adjustments to the star, and now it's not symmetrical, and I tried my best to make it symmetrical again, but this is what we have to deal with. Mistakes were made. Okay, let's save. Fail means first attempt at learning. I think fail just means fail. You're just bad at what you do. Give up. Never try again. Okay, so I think that's the star. I mean, let's export it. This is a mess, by the way. Let's remove, I'm gonna remove a bunch of stuff, bunch of bodies that I'm no longer using. Remember how I said after you highlight everything and you hit V? Oh, let's remove that too. How it'll inverse make things, if it was something that's invisible, it'll make it visible and vice versa. We're gonna do a trick. But first, I'm going to move all of these into our star pieces. Notice there's 46 in there. And notice all of these pieces that are hidden. These are all the pieces we had made invisible that we didn't want anymore. This one's still visible, and that's what this is, and we just didn't happen to combine that in one of these operations down here. We never ended up selecting that, so that exists, but we don't need it. So I'm going to remove all these, and now everything left should be what we want to keep. Neat. Okay, so those are our star pieces. We have our edge links, and we have all our regular links. Okay, now I'm going to right-click, save as mesh, one file. Let's create a new folder, Floppy star. Oh yeah, when I saved this, the T is capitalized at the top here. Okay, so let's bring it up. I'm gonna open up Bamboo Studio so we can import it. Yeah, this has been a struggle because of that one mistake. I'm going to be uploading this VOD to YouTube, and I'm going to look at it the exact moment that I goofed this up and made it impossible, and I will. Yeah, I don't care to restore what was there. Okay. All right, where are we? Floppy start. Hey, thanks for the Prime sub. I appreciate that, Big Jano. Subscribed for 3 months in a row. Nice. Okay, so I feel like that's a pretty good looking star. Let's change the color of it. Let's make it a gold star. And you'll see, even though in Fusion you were kind of seeing all those lines that made it look goofy, those aren't showing here. After we exported it, it's kind of a fun-looking star. I'm going to change the strength to be 3 walls. I think 10% infill is fine. And I'm going to go here. I'm going to choose to use adaptive layer lines. And that's because of our smooth transition up. It's a pro star. This is not a pro star. If you had been watching any of today's stream, this is a very sad, sad star. Makes me sad inside. Only 7 hours, not bad. You can kind of see the star shape on top for the top layer. It's kind of neat. I don't know. I'm kind of pleased with how this looks on the build plate. I'm really sad at Fusion for not being able to mirror. It really made me sad. Really made me sad. And nobody needs to know that this face is below this face and this face. Just don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I'm probably going to redo this star after this stream. Like, I'm just totally going to... You know, the beauty of Fusion is I can actually go back to a previous version. And I can choose like version 2 or 1 or something when I first did the star. And I can do those changes I wanted to before to make the points a little bit wider. So I can still do that, but make sure I don't goof like I did before. So yeah, these are the versions. And I can click here and, you know, open up specific versions and work off of those. So that's the beauty of Fusion. You can look at every time you save, you can create a save point that you can go back to. So we can go back to the very first save we did. This is, I mean, I think this is at the end of our first stream right here. These 4 saves here are today. So anyway, Teslas, don't tell anyone. Don't tell anyone I goofed. Oh, by the way, these removes, I'm just gonna create a group for those. Cool. Let's save. And I think we're gonna call it there. What color should I print this star in, by the way? What color should I make this star? Should I print it with yin yang, Polymaker's yin yang, so it's a black and white star, depending on where you go? Yellow. All stars are yellow already. Well, they're like more white, but yellow. I could do yellow. I don't have a silk yellow. I just have a regular yellow that I think will work with it. Oh boy. Like the black and white cookie. We'll make a charred cookie. Oh boy. This was not a very fun stream. I'll tell you what. This was a struggle. But I will show everyone, in case you weren't, for those who weren't here at the beginning when I showed this, this is our little raffle cage that we were designing that I think works pretty well. Fully 3D printed except for the 608 bearings here, the skateboard size bearings. Fun fact, I used to skateboard. Anyway, so I think that's where we're gonna call it. Let's find a person to raid out to.